Hello, my fellow Geminis. Welcome to your reading for August 2024. Couple days late. I really tried hard to get everyone's reading out by the beginning of August, but you know, all in divine timing. Anyways, this is going to be for Gemini Sun, my fellow Gemini Moons, Gemini Rising. Many of you are intuitively guided to the readings, and that your spirit guides just nudging you, you know, divine timing. I feel like a reading will reach you. You'll find it in divine timing. You could certainly be in love with the Gemini, platonically, romantically. And if that's the case, same thing. Your guides know you're here. I do read through my spirit guides, and my spirit guides connect to yours. That's why I always say that a reading is going to find you in divine timing. I feel like just when you need it. And sometimes a reading you may be like, I'm not sure. Definitely ask your spirit guides to give you signs of confirmation. More and more if you tell me that there's certain words that you may ask your guides for me to say, and you're getting that confirmation. So, you know, ask for the confirmation and then just let go of control. Just breathe deeply. So Gemini, our ruling planet is going into retrograde on the 4th. So, and I have a Virgo sun, so doubly ruled by Mercury. Um, just be aware of that. You know what I mean? Like, just be aware of, I feel like it speaks a lot about communication and, just understanding that sometimes words just can't be taken back. Right before I may want to say something, maybe take a second and be like, do I really want to say that? But other than that, I don't feel like this is going to be, I don't feel like it's going to cause difficulty for you. I really don't. And I feel like, many of you already know that Mercury's going into retrograde. And once you know that, just keep it in the back of your mind. Then I feel like you don't really have to worry. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into your reading. We're going to use three different decks, as always. Well, I shouldn't say as always. Sometimes I pull in a couple more. But we're going to use Mother Mary for her words of wisdom. And we will take that at the end of the reading. It is the cherry on top, I'm telling you. She is the cherry on top. To clarify or to go deeper, we are going to use the Tradivia Tarot. This is the newest deck in the family. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It was calling to me for you. And for your main spread, really a deck I love for you is the Psychic Tarot. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the lid down a little bit. Everything is always pre-shuffled, but I do like to give it a couple shuffles with you here. Those who've been with me know that I, already know all that. But for those who are new, first of all, welcome. Welcome to our soul family. Um, but I feel like it just helps you, you know, not that I think that you think that I stacked the deck or anything. I feel like that wants to come out. I'm going to take it. All right. Well, let's go and look at it. Well, hello. Prosperity begins. I'm glad I took it. This is the Ace of Pentacles. And I'm just noticing how two different hands are like really nurturing this seed. I feel like the Ace of Pentacles is a seed, and you can see the roots, right? So it's like it almost feels like, well, prosperity begins. It's like it's blossoming. Ace of Pentacles is something that is, it's coming into your physical world. It's tangible. If this ends up being love, then it's kissable. But it's a good omen to start with. Prosperity begins. It definitely mean like you're starting to see the fruits of your labor. I feel like that seed is probably a seed that you planted, but now may be the right time, divine timing. Let's keep going. We have wisdom. This is the Hierophant, card of Taurus, your neighbor. This is about your belief system, you know, your faith, your hope. Doesn't have to mean religion. For some of you, like you take it any way you feel it, but it is about wisdom. And interesting, it's also a five. And to me, fives speak about change. So it feels like this ace is offering some type of change, something that I feel like is going to enhance your life in some way. And then we have, well, hello, universe. So change, that's probably why I was feeling it. Change is the next chapter. I'm sorry, the universe is the next chapter. And I feel like I love that it's sitting next to the Hierophant because I feel like the universe is really when we are living within our spirituality, it is now just part of who we are. And what I mean by that is, like I think the first half of my life, spirituality really wasn't part of it. And then certain things happened that, you know, I don't want to say force changes, but changes, things happen in my life that really brought my spirituality to life and really piqued my interest. So, I kept moving forward in that, and lo and behold, I'm doing, you know, I now have a tarot channel, something that I never would have thought of back in the day. So, anyways, change, but then this change must be good because it's moving you into the next chapter. And, it's a 21, add that together, a 3. That should be joy, or it should be joyful. I already feel that. By the way, two major arcanas. All right, well, let's keep going. Let's follow this next chapter. Hmm. Deception and envy, Seven of Swords. It's mirroring that Ace of Pentacles. What it feels like to me is like this ace, the Ace of Pentacles, this prosperity, it's meant for you. So just be careful of other people who are like holding their hands out. It's like, I don't know why, but I feel like as you do better, as your prosperity begins to show, there could be someone who, like, give me some of that, give me some of that. But yet, I don't feel like I don't feel like it's theirs for the taking. I feel like it's yours. This ace belongs to you. All right. Well, let's keep going. I kind of feel like I don't even have to really go deep about that Seven of Swords because I feel like right off the bat, some of you already know. All right. Well, there's the tower. But listen, I don't feel like the tower is happening to you. Or let's just say that some of you may have lost a job. Something that was outside of your control, which normally is what the tower is. And it's interesting because I think it was your neighbors, Taurus's reading where I did feel like there was someone like stealing their ideas, claiming them as their own, and like in a work situation, like, going to the big guy or the big girl, whoever was running the company and like taking those ideas and claiming as their own. Some of you may be on the cusp also of Taurus, and we do have Taurus in the reading. But anyways, so whether I'm giving this tower to someone, and that would be who's ever in the Seven of Swords, because I feel like you must be aware at this point. I don't feel like the universe would this next chapter would open up if you weren't aware. Doesn't mean like this person is gone or this energy is gone, but now you're aware of it. So, some of you who, let's just say, did lose a job, and I know that's difficult, but there may be a reason. You know what I mean? Like, just look back at your life and like look at different patterns, those changes that happen that in the beginning were like, oh no. But then eventually we can look back and say, okay, now I get it. Like without this tower, maybe I wouldn't have planted this seed. All right, we have the waiting game. Mm. But then look at this. We have the nine of pentacles, material harvest. So you're taking that ace. And by the way, who's ever in that seven of swords, I don't feel like they're part of it. To me, the nine of pentacles, the meaning of the card is independent successful self-employment. I can't talk today. Doesn't have to be self-employment, but it is about material harvest. It's also a very independent energy. It's a card of Virgo. Some of you, this Seven of Swords could simply be overthinking something, overthinking whether you could have this success. And the Nine of Pentacles tells you, if you're willing to put in the effort, the work, whatever it takes, you are the sole benefactor of this energy. Now, it doesn't mean like, let's say you have children like that they're not going to benefit, but it's like you benefit from the work that you put in. Coming under the universe, some of you are making that change. I almost feel like maybe I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for like a promotion, for someone to recognize my work, someone to recognize me for who I truly am and what it is I can bring to the world. And I feel like if they can't, then boom, the tower. Okay, well, that didn't take long. Death card. Called transformation in this deck. It is the card of Scorpio. If it came in reverse and it was Scorpio, I'd be like, run. But it's not in reverse, it's in the upright. So there is some type of change. We know that through the universe also. But this talks about a closing of a door. And it's coming under that Seven of Swords. And you know what? When you close a door, a new door always opens. It is mirroring the tower. So I feel like whatever door it's asking me to close. By the way, there's my birthday right there. 9/13. Interesting. What was I going to say? Again, closing this door may require giving someone a tower. If it's a job, it's like, take this job and shove it. If it's a person, you definitely have the realization. Again, I feel like because if it's a person in the Seven of Swords, they're a taker. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Can even be like narcissistic type energy. And, maybe for some of you that know what I'm talking about there, you learn that I can't change that person. I just can't change them. But I feel like in a way, I'll be damned if I'm going to allow them to take what the universe wants to supply you with because I feel like you earned it. Now, it doesn't even have to be money. It just means I feel like in some way your life is being enhanced. A new chapter wants to open, but I feel like it does require. I kind of feel like that you give someone this tower, and then the tower is connected to this waiting game. Maybe I've been waiting for someone. Maybe someone's been playing games with me. But, as I evolve, so does my energy. And those who do not evolve, I feel like naturally the universe wants them to fade away. Our humanness is what normally grabs them back. Okay, well, let's keep going. Hello, victory and success. Gemini, it's like you were saying to the world, I am not allowing someone else to determine my future any longer. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to trust in me. Victory and success. This person, it reminds me of the fool. You're standing on a cliff, but they're blowing their trumpet out into the world like, look at me now. Look at me now, world. Now, that could just be to one particular person, could be to a business. I know I've done that with, I lost a job once that I thought I was going to retire from. And I was just dumbfounded that they let me go. I mean, not to blow my own horn, but I was great at what I did, um, and did very well for myself. But nonetheless, it happened. Like they gave me the tower, and within, I'll say a couple months, their doors were closed. Their doors were closed. So I don't know why I'm bringing that up. This is also the energy of other people really looking up to you because of action steps that you've taken. I just feel like, I just feel like there may be one person or one situation that wants to come in between you and, you know, all this prosperity that and material harvest. But I feel like you know better now. I feel like you've had a lot of growth. And it's like, I just feel like you're saying there's no way I'm letting anything come in between me and my victory, me and my harvest, my prosperity, even your faith. All right. Hello, passion ignited. Pay attention to your intuition. Pay attention to your dreams. I feel like, this is the Ace of Wands, passion ignited, right? But I feel like this is like epiphanies, ideas, new ways, new directions. I feel like those of the old, I don't know, I just kind of feel like they don't belong. And then we have mental conflict. This is the Two of Swords. Two of Swords speaks about one wearing a blindfold. There may be something I don't want to face. Maybe I do have to let go of the Seven of Swords energy. And some of you, it can simply mean overthinking something. Like, can I truly be successful if I move forward? Again, I feel like you've been in this energy of waiting for something. And I definitely feel like that's the door. So you do have to trust yourself. Be careful not to overthink. That can definitely happen with Mercury. I feel like I need to move these up even a little bit more. This mental conflict is mirroring the universe. The universe is the next chapter. It's something new that's opening up for you. The Ace of Pentacles being the very first card, right? Where prosperity begins. Again, it's like it's something it feels like it's rooted in time. Like something is really meant to happen. It can talk about gifts, that you already possess, talents. Yet maybe I just been overthinking it instead of putting action behind it. Maybe the universe is again going to send you like epiphanies, ideas, so that you can trust in yourself. Even if the seven swords means I need to give someone a tower, because if I've been just waiting and waiting and waiting, hmm, how long do I want to do that? All right, let's keep going. The shadow. The shadow. This is the moon, actually. Um, what I love about this image is, eh, first of all, we want to remember that all humans have a shadow side and a light side, a masculine side, a feminine side. And it's, which one am I going to feed? Maybe because it's mirroring the Seven of Swords, maybe I've been feeding my shadow side, but I feel like the light is really what's being illuminated. Sorry, the light side. But listen, with the two swords coming right before this, and the two swords really signifying, you can't really see it here. I wonder what part of the brain that is. Hmm. Um, I'll have to look that up. It's funny. I never like thought about that before when I see this card, but it's like that part of the brain. Some of you already know. But anyways, in the two swords, many times we have a blindfold on. There's just something that we might be a little fearful to face. Maybe we're worried we can't make it on our own. But I feel like the answer is you can. You just have to trust in yourself. I feel like some of you must have been in this reflection, and who's going to win, the light or the dark? Well, saying the light will win. But because this mental conflict is so close to the shadow part of it, I feel like it's just having that realization, right? It's really finding balance. Now, the moon um, can signify a couple different things. First of all, it can talk about uncertainties. Why? Well, because I can only see as far as the moonlight will allow me to see. Now, on a full moon, I can see pretty far. But this is also the potential really dreamy type energy. That's probably why I said to some of you, pay attention to your dreams. You may be receiving like real epiphanies. You wake up and you like, wow, that was a weird dream, but like I feel like it's telling me to do something. Trust that. And if you don't trust it at that moment, just write it down and visit it later. It is the card of Pisces, by the way, ruler of Cancer. But, mirroring deception and envy, I feel like someone in the Seven of Swords was kind of living in their shadow self and maybe trying to drag you into that energy. But listen, I feel like you're only staying in that energy for so long. And if I've been waiting for this energy to change, like, I just don't feel like that's the answer. I feel like I have to be the change. Whether that means leaving someone. First of all, I feel like you'll have that realization. Like I don't feel like you would have to think about like, who's she talking about? I feel like you would already know. But it kind of feels like a requirement. Now, I say a requirement, but what I'm really feeling is that this Ace of Pentacles is for you. And it is meant to give you hope. And it is meant to open up a new chapter for you. And right below that is material harvest. But yet a door needs to be closed. So I feel like simply if I don't close that door, then there may be someone who's like, gimme, gimme, gimme. Right? That kind of keeps me in their vibration versus my own. Blindfold, I don't feel like it's anything major. And I feel like this Ace of Wands sitting right next to it, it's almost like your spiritual team, God, will reach you even with that blindfold on. I feel like it's about trusting in yourself. When I see a nine, I do think a singular energy, but this is really independent, feeling independent on my own. Doesn't mean I can't be connected to anyone else, but I still feel strong on my own 2 feet. And I feel like when you feel that way, you're unstoppable. All right, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. All right, well, now I feel like now I know that Three of Swords is energy that I want to say has got to go, but it really is up to you, right? It is a free will choice. This can talk about someone who just keeps breaking your heart over and over again, especially with the waiting game here. You know, do I keep, and that may be why I was talking earlier about like where sometimes we're living someone else's life. We're being pulled into their shadow. We're lowering our vibration. And, maybe this is someone that you love. But remember, there's all different levels to love. Because I feel like they must be doing something that is keeping you, well, it's stopping you from believing in yourself. But man, do I feel like your spirit guides are trying to get the point over to you that believe in yourself. That you have 3 cards of that really talk about prosperity. To talk about a beautiful harvest, a new chapter. And with the Hierophant right next to that, yes, some of you can mean a Taurus. But I really feel like what it's saying, it's like, because the Hierophant speaks about keeping your hope alive, right? Your faith that there can be change. But sometimes I have to be that change. Look at that. 8 of Swords under the 3 of Swords. To some of you, I do feel like you may have been in a repeat pattern with someone who, dare I say, doesn't feel worthy of it. I feel like you yourself are evolving, and I feel like the universe is like right in line with you. However, again, there is an energy or a person that just doesn't feel like, I feel like, I don't want them to have this prosperity. It belongs to you. I don't want them to interrupt the success that you can really create for yourself. And I feel like the only thing I can do is close that door. But I feel like closing that door is everything. I would say just take a look at your life and, you know, again, if there's someone in your life that just, I feel like may cause a lot of uncertainty, If I've been like sitting and waiting, and you can talk about someone comes in your life and then out of your life and then into your life. Like, are we making a commitment? And one day they say yes, and then they turn around and do something that's completely opposite from making a commitment, right? I feel like the two swords is saying, rip off that blindfold. It's like ripping a band-aid off. That monster that we think is out there. When we take off that blindfold, it's like I feel like then the light reaches you. Then you're letting the light in. All right. Um, you know, this eight of sword. Oh, look at this. Look at the, okay. I feel like I got to read backwards for a second because we have the nine of cups, which is talks about inner fulfillment, but it's also about fulfillment of wishes. Literally says that. Yet in front of that is the eight of swords, trapped in fear. It's a self-created prison. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Well, with the ace of wands here and the ace of pentacles, I feel like your guides are really trying to reach you. And then you have the light, the sun underneath that. But then look at this. Then you have soulmates underneath that. So maybe I thought someone in the Seven of Swords was a soulmate. And listen, they could have been a karmic soulmate. Soulmates aren't, there's many different reasons why we run across soulmates, but they're always teaching us something, and us them. Sometimes it's simply when to close that door, right? Maybe I've given someone a lot of time. Maybe I give them the title of a soulmate. But this is about spiritual union. But I feel like someone may be like leaving you on the hook. And then under that is your intuition. That is your guiding light. Trusting your intuition. And who knows? We'll see what comes out. But there could be a spiritual union that is yet to happen. But maybe it can't happen yet. But the sun will certainly help guide you, number one. And you know what I love about the sun is shadows cannot hide when the sun is out. Anything done in the dark will come to the light. Maybe I just need to, well, then you have that fulfillment of wishes, inner harmony. Like, I just want that inner harmony. I feel like this is showing you how to find it. And then in fulfillment of a wish, well, there's your Ace of Pentacles. That's a fulfillment of a wish. The Eight of Swords, though. I feel like because we create this for ourselves, and sometimes it's walls, we're trying to protect ourselves. But that means that we're not really trusting in our energy. And I get it because, listen, if someone's like had me on the hook and, around and around and around we go, three times, you broke my heart. It's interesting because I've been seeing this a lot and I get that feeling of like three strikes and you're out. And it is on the bottom of the deck. So I feel like when we uncreate that prison, it's freedom. And it's freedom really to start a new direction, start a new path, find that inner harmony. And the sun is here to help that. That, I feel like, is what that blindfold is. Trust your intuition that the right person will come along and not put you in that waiting game. because that's really what it is. Well, that's what it says, the waiting game, right? But then it's right by the tower, mirroring the death card. So if this is something I really want in my life, then I've got to know, who deserves it, who doesn't. You know, again, it doesn't mean that this person couldn't have been a soulmate, but if they are, they're a karmic soulmate. I feel that very clearly. It's like the sun wants to come out. I feel like it will. I feel like fulfillment of wishes is what wants to develop for you. But first, I feel like finding that inner harmony, and I feel like it has to come through the breaking free of this self created prison. It really is a sense of freedom. It really is. It's freedom. Look at the sun kind of peeking in there. 3 times, buddy. That's enough for me. Interesting. Okay. The only reason I read back is because I felt like I was pulled to read back. But also, I feel like it gives us a lot more clarity over the energy of deception and envy. And I feel like when you take off that blindfold, you can't help but be honest with yourself. It's like, is somebody coming between you and your prosperity? Is someone coming between you and your inner harmony? And if that's the case, how long am I going to accept that? That's free will. Let me just see if there's anything else before I move on. Even with this blindfold on, that Ace of Pentacles, I'm sorry, the Ace of Wands, passion ignited, it's still going to reach you. And some of you may have been doing some reflection, right? You are looking at that shadow self. And yeah, it's definitely connected to the Seven of Swords, deception, envy. It's really called the Thief in the Night. And I definitely feel like that means that someone, like as that ace comes for you, their hands are out. Sometimes we start doing well in our life, and then someone who, again, is more than comfortable living in their shadow self wants to make a repeat appearance. I feel like, buddy, I've given you the time. I've given you the opportunity. But truth be told, I feel like there is no more room for them. Not if I want all this prosperity to open up in my life. And that is what the universe is saying to you. First of all, again, spiritual. So it can simply mean trust within your spiritual self. Remember, you are a spiritual being having human experiences. I feel like I got to take the power away from that Seven of Swords. I got to no longer allow them to have that power. I got to reclaim myself. I got to feed the light and not the dark. You know, and finding that balance. If that resonates with you, don't judge yourself, because there's definitely something you've learned from that. And I also want to say if this has anything to do with love, of course, this is your choice, but try not to shut down your heart because of this energy. Some of you, again, it could simply be like something that was karmic. Well, karmic is meant to teach you. And listen, if you learn a karmic lesson, you learned it for eternity. And I feel like the stronger you are within yourself, the less chances this person or this energy has to come in and try to change what's meant for you. All right. Let's bring in the Tradivia Tarot. Give them a cut, introduce them into the reading. And we're going to start at the beginning, but we are going to read it as a whole. All right. So we're looking at the Ace of Pentacles, Hierophant, the universe, and deception and envy. I want to remind you that the universe is a 21, which is a 3, but is meant to be joyful. Two of Wands over that Ace of Pentacles. Right off the bat, that tells me that you're saying yes to something. You know, Two of Wands, there's really no fear in it. Even if there is fear, I'm not going to allow fear to stop me. I feel like it's a 2 because it's meant for you. And it's coming right over that Ace of Pentacles. So I feel like it's you saying yes. Even if I'm just Two of Wands to me means I often feel it as like I'm beginning something new. And I don't know where it's going to end up. But I do know if I put my focus on it, that it's only going to grow. I do feel like this is also a yes. Like, yes, I accept that. I'll take you, Ace of Pentacles. And prosperity begins. Well, that's kind of what a 2 means, right? It's the beginning of something. But in the same breath, I feel like it's also a yes. Okay, I'll take that. And I kind of love that the Two of Wands, where again, it's like I'm now, it also tells me that you are beginning to walk down the path of the Wands. Well, that's probably why the Ace of Wands is out. The Wands to me, first of all, it is trusting your intuition. But it's also something that's passionate, something that you're going to be passionate about, even if I'm at the beginning. I don't feel like this ace would show unless you're really ready for it. So maybe simply it's just one door that needs to close. We have the Ten of Wands over the Hierophant. Okay, well, the Ten of Wands to me is an energy where, it's a period of time where there's just so much responsibility on your shoulders. But I feel like sometimes we've got to question, am I carrying all the responsibility of something? And am I meant to? I do recognize that this is a 10 and it's going right down to a 5. If it's speaking of a relationship, I feel like you just want to ask yourself the question, am I the only one who's giving to this relationship? And if that's the case, this is something I really want to continue. I feel like in the Ten of Wands, it's almost too much. I feel like in the Ten of Wands, someone is subconsciously hoping for a tower. Maybe I'm having a hard time ending something. So the universe does it for us. And the universe is the next card. It may ask you to just believe in hope. Believe. Waiting game right underneath that. It's like, can't wait anymore. I just can't wait anymore. I'm just done with that. And then lo and behold, The Ace of Wands opens up. Passion ignited. I feel like, do I want that Ten of Wands to end? I do. Because again, it's like all the weight is on my shoulders. But yet, the Two of Wands over the Ace of Pentacles, the universe right next to it, it gives you the opportunity to end it. All right, let's keep going. I feel like if someone keeps coming in and out of my life, that is my answer. Like, I already have my answer. We have the Queen of Cups. Can certainly be a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. We have all three on the board. The moon is um, Pisces major arcana, but it's also the ruler of Cancer. We have Scorpio right there. But yet, I really feel like what it's talking about, because I feel like it's really you. And, when I think of the Queen of Cups, I think of someone who is loving. Maybe I want love in my life, but I want a certain type of love. I want something that's equal, where it's not all on my shoulders. I want to know that I'm loved, and I don't want to have to guess. And I feel like it's saying that you're ready for that also. Some of you, this is giving you an opportunity to do something, even though it may take, it is going to take your effort and your work, but I feel like in the same breath, it could be something that you absolutely fall in love with. All right, we have the Six of Swords. Well, that makes me happy. Why? Well, in the Six of Swords, I always look back one card, and that's the Five of Swords, and that's toxic energy, toxic people. But this is me leaving it. This is me saying no more. No more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. That's what you're doing. So you're having that realization first and foremost, and then you are being bold enough to move away from it. Again, maybe I gave someone or something three chances, yet here I am, just waiting and waiting and waiting. And in the Ten of Wands, like subconsciously, I do feel like, just bring me a tower already. Here it is. And I feel like that tower helps you close that door. And this is the movement away from the toxicity. It's like it doesn't have any place in your life anymore. You're moving on to bigger and better things. Six of Swords can certainly talk about temporarily difficult energy. It's like going through the choppy waters, but it really is the promise of calmer seas. It's like your beautiful beach lies right ahead. You just got to get through the choppiness. I'm very happy that the Six of Swords showed over the Seven of Swords. And then we have the King of Cups. Interesting that we have the Queen of Cups and now the King of Cups, but this King is coming over the tower. Um, I don't know. To me, I feel like it's saying that for some of you, this is talking about love. I'm surprised the King's not in reverse, to be honest. Which means to me like someone who is like easily able to show everyone else like their loving side, but when it comes to me, they shut it down. They shut me down. Well, maybe now it's time that I shut them down. And we'll come back at the end and clarify a few things. But to me, I get it. I get what it's saying. I always find it interesting when my birthday shows up because it happens quite a bit. Look at this. How about exchanging that Ten of Wands where, let's just say in love, I'm the one who took all the responsibility on my shoulders. And let's replace that 10 with the 10 of cups. Now that is love. But there's no guessing in the 10 of cups, right? I know who loves me and who doesn't. Or another way of saying that if I have to wonder, then that's not my 10 of cups. Look at the beautiful healing waters flowing down. To me, that speaks of unconditional love. Some of you, you could certainly like, I just want this energy. But maybe part of the requirement, maybe your soul's seed of intention was really to find your own footing, like becoming really independent and finding that inner harmony for yourself. Something made me read back. And don't forget, we saw a spiritual union, just hasn't reached us yet. I feel like this is definitely talking about potential, especially with the Ace of Wands. Some of you, it could certainly talk about feeling like, I cut these ties because that's exactly what you're doing in the Six of Swords. You're saying adios. Maybe you're not saying anything. You're just no longer willing to, take someone's call after they haven't called for 2 months. It's just like, now, not even going to answer it. Or if I do, and they start to feed me their line of bullshit, click, I hang the phone up. It's like you're regaining your power. Someone could have certainly promised you the world, but then showed you nothing. I feel like in the Seven of Swords, if it's speaking about a person, and to me it's starting to really feel that way, um, they can certainly enter our life, being all charming and what have you. It could certainly be someone who's like, yeah, I got my shit together, like I'm good with my money, and none of it be true. But maybe time had to be, it had to come through time where I found that realization, the truth. Being an air sign, there's no way in hell that I feel like if someone has been lying to you, I feel like you can only put up with that for so long. And, I do feel you very intuitive, but, for some reason, maybe, you weren't trusting that. And again, don't blame yourself because I feel like if this is a person, like, maybe they just know all the right things to say, but then I don't feel like they put action behind it. All right. Well, hello, Temperance, divine timing. So, Temperance, really is about, first and foremost, patience. It's coming over your material harvest, but it is about divine timing, right under the universe. I kind of love that. I feel like sometimes, though, divine is waiting on us, right? Maybe there are certain souls or certain seeds of intention that our soul, wanted to experience in this lifetime. But yet, at the same time, our soul knows that, I can't be in the waiting game. I can't live around that deception and envy and at the same time have the 10 of cups. Patience, my child. But I feel like really it could be divine timing waiting on you. Again, not with judgment. It's like whenever the timing is right, the timing is right. And that you can trust in. Some of you, I feel like, you really are going to start seeing the fruits of your labor. Some of you are setting yourselves free in a few different ways, and it just feels right. Card of Sagittarius also. Well, hello, Wheel of Fortune, Destiny. That's probably why I felt like for some of you, you could have been in a karmic relationship around karmic people. But again, something to learn from that. When I see the wheel, I feel there's movement. I feel like this is your destiny. And listen, destiny doesn't always mean only good things happen. Sometimes we got to get through those difficult lessons. It's like sometimes we've got to go through hell to really appreciate our heaven. But what else I love is when I close this door, the wheel starts moving. And from the simple act of that, I say simple, I know it's not simple, but it is the realization again of who and what has been toxic to me, who is living in their shadow self and trying to pull me in that, where, I feel like spiritually, you've been working on yourself. Spiritually, you've been growing. And therefore, I feel like spiritual blessings want to manifest for you. you know, at the same time, with that Ace of Pentacles, it's like the Ace of Pentacles will show, but then it's up to me what I'm going to do with it, right? Am I going to nurture that ace? And I feel like that ace and that nine, material harvest, coming with the Two of Wands, again, it may just be the beginning of a path for you, but I feel like it's trying to give you some comfort in knowing that, you know, first of all, I feel like you may have the potential of having it all. But again, maybe I had to go through my hell to really appreciate what will be my heaven. You know, patience within temperance, right? Within the wheel is now movement. So to me, that means like that closing of a door is now in it, it means divine timing is now moving in your favor, by the way, because what follows it? Success, victory. Excuse me. Whoa. Seven of Cups. All right. So in Seven of Cups, I have to make it. Well, I don't have to, but I'm making a decision about something. Cups to me means something emotional. And I feel like what we want to realize in the Seven of Cups is, I may be nervous about accepting a new cup, but if that's the case, then I'm probably judging all these cups by past energy and not the potential of what can be. I definitely feel like some of you are here for confirmation on what you want to do in the world. Will other people pay attention to me? Will other people get me? I feel like the answer is yes. And now we have the King of Pentacles. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. It is mirroring Taurus, coming over the Ace of Wands. It doesn't have to be another person. It could just be the way you're looking at your life now. Because I feel like the King of Pentacles looks at life from the big picture down. But I could also talk about this king coming in, male or female, by the way, over the Ace of Wands. I don't know how much time has gone by between, let's say, the Seven of Swords energy and the closing of that door to what is coming next. First of all, I feel like this is saying, as it relates to what you do in the world, it feels like new opportunities and really to trust within your own abilities. Sometimes I feel like, many times I feel like in a reading that, we become healers or we are natural healers and using that energy, right? Maybe to help others. Again, the Six of Wands, other people are looking up to you because of your action steps. Interesting, this king is right below the Ten of Cups. This king may offer you his cup, and you might be a little leery about it. Seven of Swords over that Two of Swords. Okay, so that's where the mental conflict is at. We have to go right back to that Seven of Swords. That's what the blindfold is. Maybe I just wish that someone could be better, could be a better man, a better woman. But I just feel like it's not in the cards. I mean, literally. It is showing you how the Seven of Swords does affect your decision making. I feel like Temperance is saying, my dear, that blindfold is not serving you. Like, you need to live in the truth and don't buy other people's lies. Like, I feel like in your heart who I'm talking about and what I'm talking about. But to me, this is definitely saying that, and because it's mirroring the Queen of Cups, I feel like it's talking about your emotions. Like it is affecting your decision making. Hmm. I mean, how do I get you to trust in yourself? Maybe this reading will help. And then we have Four of Cups. Showed somewhat in reverse is like, I'm not sure, but let's talk about it in the upright first. So the Four of Cups does talk about discontentment, boredom in one's life, especially if I'm playing someone else's waiting game. But really, the Four of Cups is showing that a cup is coming in. A cup is being offered. And I feel like it's being offered from the hand of God. But I have to use my spiritual discernment to decide whether I'm going to take that cup, I'm going to trust that cup or not. Some of you, if you're discontent within your life, this is showing you how you can really make those changes where, in a way, I feel like you can be living a completely different life. Like that discontentment, that boredom, over. The accepting of a cup, I feel like yes. All right, there's a couple things I want to look at. First of all, I do want to look at the King of Cups and this King of Pentacles because both of them are coming over somewhat difficult energy. Well, I mean, the King of Pentacles is coming over the Ace of Wands. That's not difficult, but it is mirroring the Ten of Wands and sitting next to the Seven of Swords. So I just want to know. And then this King of Cups, we have the Queen of Cups, who I do feel like is you. But yet the King of Cups is over the Tower. So I just want to know a little bit more about that. Yeah. Some of you may have two people coming into your life. And if that's the case, I would say go on a date with both of them. I feel like because the Six of Swords came over that Seven of Swords, this is you like really understanding who and what is toxic to you. And when I say toxic to you, it can mean a whole range of things. But I know the one thing it is like in a way blocking what is really meant for you. But it is something that you also have to go after. In the Ace of Wands, passion ignited, but then I got to reach out and take that ace. The Ace of Pentacles, that seed that's coming to fruition. But then I have to nurture that seed, right? I got to give it the sunlight that was under it. All right. So I'm looking at the King of Cups, but I'm also looking at the King of Pentacles. Okay, well, Five of Swords. All right, well, goodbye to that king. Six of Wands. And then Seven of Wands. Interesting. Seven of Wands is about standing your ground. Six of Wands is here twice. So the energy of victory. But the Five of Swords came over this king. So that's telling me that this king is part of this toxic energy. It just is. And I don't know. I get a feeling like, you may meet someone who has gone through very similar energies of you. I feel like, let's say the Seven of Swords is just, again, someone who just doesn't know how to treat me, probably doesn't know how to treat anyone, really. It's all about them. And I certainly don't want to repeat that anymore. I'm seeing the toxicity and really how it's like affecting me and my own prosperity. I feel like, yes, I do want to reach the Ten of Cups. I do want to find real love, right? But I feel like part of the requirement is finding that inner harmony within yourself first. But the reason why I'm saying that two people could have similar energy, which would make sense if it's like let's say, a loving soulmate. It could have been two people who had to like find their own power Could have been two people that needed to really, both were dealing with like difficult, maybe karmic partners. But I feel like both you and them have found this sense of victory. Even if I'm just beginning, right? Even if I'm just starting at the beginning. All right. Well, I think what I want to do now is just look at the King of Pentacles on his own. With Temperance here, it makes me feel like all will be okay. And then the wheel, that is your destiny. But again, it's coming over transformation. That's what makes the wheel turn again. So I want to look at the King of Pentacles because he is coming over the Ace of Wands. And again, it doesn't have to mean that it has to be a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. However, I would think there would be someone who is pretty stable. But let's see. The Four of Swords. This person may carry healing energy for you, especially if they get what you've been through. And how did they get it? Because they've probably been through it themselves. I feel like love shows in the most unexpected of ways and times. But yet, I feel like there may be a chance that the two of you really help heal those little broken pieces. Okay, let's take one more there, or whatever wants to come out. Quite a few wanted to come out, so we're going to take it. We have the Hermit. It is the card of Virgo. I also feel like this is saying for many of you, you are old souls. You've been here, done this before. The Hermit can certainly talk about going through the dark night of the soul. I feel like in the Hermit's energy, this is where I'm really asking. I'm asking for divine guidance. I'm asking those big questions, but I am receiving the answers at the same time. I feel like what the Hermit figures out, if I'm looking for the light, I am the light. I am my own savior. Now, it doesn't mean you don't have this beautiful spiritual team working with you, but it's like finding that light within. It's reminding me of that Nine of Cups, that inner harmony. And right next to the Four of Swords, well, it's hard to see in this card, but this Hermit, the Hermit's either going into the cave, which to me is when I'm going through that dark night of the soul, but I am seeking clarity. But this Hermit's emerging, and there's this beacon of light. And I feel like this is our own light and really us helping others because of our experiences. And if we just go back one card, where I do feel like other people are looking up to you because of the actions that you've taken, because you've been bold enough, right? It's like I'm no longer willing to live in someone else's lower vibration. Like I found the light. You know what else this beacon of light illuminates? The snake. So it's knowing that, if any snakes come out of the grass, you're going to see them. And that can mean on a spiritual level, but physically, you're going to see them. I'm starting to like this king more and more. We have, look at this, strength card. Card of Leo. I know I always cover up the word. Card of Leo. But listen, this is an 8. First thing I'm feeling is the number infinity. as above, so below, no beginning, no end. Coming right next to the Hermit, an old soul. It's my human mind that put these limits on me. It's my human mind who accepted that Seven of Swords energy. But it's my spiritual mind that helps me move out of that. I forgot what I was even holding. This is about the willingness to take a deep dive within oneself, to really learn about oneself. It's really courage. Many times you'll see this depicted as like like someone who's part woman, part lion, part man, part lion. And what that means to me is they've really learned to tame the shadow self. We can't get rid of our shadow self. It's just part of who we are. But when we find the balance, the courage, I feel like everything changes. And 8 is about a new beginning. We have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands can be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We have Sagittarius on the board. We have Leo on the board. However, to me, this is a Queen of Action. This is someone who, and again, I feel like chances are this is also you. Some people are like, how can you read me as all these different people? Well, because I feel like we do carry the energy of all the queens and all the kings. That's how we arrive at the empresses and the emperor's energy. Like, I've walked that path. I've seen it. I've been on it. And I get it. So this is someone who does move according to her passions. She's not a fear-based person. Like, I'm going to do it and think about it later. And it may be calling for you to bring out that Queen of Wands within yourself. And then the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is really learning that fine art of give and take. Six of Pentacles to me is a very compassionate energy. It's where I feel good helping the underdog. Listen, maybe that's what I was doing back here. Maybe I thought I was helping. But some people, they just don't want our help. Some people just want to live in their shadow self. And there's not much we can do about that, except leave it. You want to live in your shadow self? Go for it. I want to start building real prosperity for myself. I want to find real love for myself. I now know who I am and what I deserve. Have I been giving and giving and giving? Kind of relates me back to that Ten of Wands. Have I put all the responsibility on my shoulders? This is learning about it's a lesson that you should receive as much as you give. Now, I'm not receiving because I expect to receive. Not that you shouldn't expect it, but I feel like it's just natural. It's a natural type energy. Okay, so I like this king. I can't really say anything negative about him. It just kind of feels right to me. And again, it doesn't have to be an earth sign, but I do feel like it's someone who would, I don't know, like have their shit together. But it doesn't mean that they haven't been through it also. And it makes sense because, again, we saw the soulmates, but it's taken us a while, right? It's quite a few cards before we actually got to it. Okay, let's pick this up. I have nothing negative to say about this king other than he may, she may, or we may help heal each other. Those broken little pieces that are still left. Yes, we're leaving that toxicity behind, but it doesn't necessarily mean I feel whole yet. And I do feel like there's certain people that come into our life, whether it be for love, that he does have the Ten of Cups above him, or whether just to come in and help us, first of all, recognize our own strength. Like I feel like there'd be no reason, or how do I want to say this? Like I feel like with this king, again, can be a queen, but I feel like this is someone who, let's just say the things that you don't like about yourself, and we all have certain things, right? But I feel like this is someone who come in and be like, but baby, that's what I love about you. That's what I love about you. I feel like this is also someone who is compassionate, just as you are, giving, just as you are. So it feels like equal. Okay, I picked up what was ever over that. What was over that? I don't even know. I picked it up. Um, it's interesting. I can't even remember what was there, so let's go ahead and take something else. Look at this. Hello, Emperor. Wow. First of all, Cardivaries, yes. But this is definitely someone, first and foremost, has walked the path. Let's just say of all the kings, if this is a male, all the queens, if it's a female, and maybe both. This is someone who definitely does care about their fellow man. This is someone who's methodical. And the Emperor is normally someone that we can look up to. Oh, I know what was there, the Seven of Swords. Interesting how I accidentally picked it up like it was meant to leave the table and be replaced by the Emperor. Hmm, I accept that. I accept that. Let's say, because this is not just love, and this is just not about money, it's about both. What a great person to support you. And I don't necessarily mean financially, but support your goals. Like this person would get behind whatever ideas and whatever it is you want to bring to the world, even if they don't get it. But I feel like they would get it. I feel like they would get it. And Temperance is like the one, who's ushering this in. And by the way, I feel like Temperance is an angel who wants to make sure that the soulmates, that their cups are equally filled. There seems to be like a little bit of mirroring energy here. So I feel like, if I'm having a conversation with this emperor and I'm telling the emperor what I've been through, they're going to be like, I get it. But my God, that was their loss. Like, what were they thinking? That was their loss and my gain. If you say yes. Now, the emperor's also, I often read as a business owner. It could be two people who do very similar things. And let's not forget, we had the Four of Swords before that. So, in some way, you may be helping to heal other people. Doesn't mean you have to have a healing business, but it just becomes your natural energy. Okay. Um, let's just go up between temperance and the wheel. You close that door. The Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands talks about the realization of your past. This is looking back in a way where I feel like it does talk about real growth. I call this person my spirit warrior because I look at the last chapter of my life, or maybe I look at the patterns within my life. And really, what I'm figuring out here is how I have grown. I'm not going to look back and be like, oh, what the hell was I thinking? Not that of course, I mean, I've done that. But I've also realized, like, without that, I wouldn't have grown into this, and so on and so forth. Reflection. But really about how you have grown. Maybe it's a little bit of a requirement through temperance. Why? Because they want you to be proud of who you are today. All right. Eight of Swords. Reflection over that self-created prison. I feel like setting yourself free. The Knight of Wands is looking at that Eight of Swords and just understanding it like, okay, someone else caused me to put up these walls, to create this prison. And listen, there's no time level to like when I put down these walls, when you're ready. But in the Nine of Wands, I feel like you're ready because you're becoming really proud of who you are today. Like I think back to my ex-husband. And let's say I never left that energy. Well, my God, I don't know, not a life I'd want to live, right? Lived it for 8 years, and 8 years was quite enough. I had to close that door. And then I think about where I am today and who I'm with today. And I'm not even going to go into the story because I know some of you are getting tired of me talking about it. But I do feel like it was a miracle. I do feel like it was meant to be, and I do feel like it happened in divine timing. What am I holding? Ace of Swords. I had to learn how to put those walls down. And instead, you're looking at yourself and your life in how much you have grown because of these experiences. Yes, I may have given my power away for a while, but listen, maybe the lesson was how to reclaim it, right? Think of the strength card. Maybe I did live in someone else's shadow, but now I'm feeding the light. And look what the light is opening up. All right, I'm going to go right over the Ten of Cups now. Well, hello, lovers. There's your major arcana. And I love it when your major arcana shows in your reading. But hello, lovers. Look at the angel's influence over these lovers. It's like temperance is right there. And what did I say? The temperance's main job is making sure that these cups are filled equally. Now, the meaning of this card is a head over heart decision. But we're looking right at the Ten of Cups. I feel like someone just made you feel like the Ten of Cups wasn't possible. But then I feel like with reflection, you realize, well, that's their limited thoughts. I do feel like this Emperor is going to be like, man, that was their loss. Them losing you, how stupid of them. Now I have you. Now we have each other. Ace of Wands right below that. I often feel that with the lovers. Sometimes you can't see it in this card, but you'll see like the feminine feeling the energy of the masculine, even though the masculine is not there in person yet, but I can feel their energy coming towards me. I definitely feel the angels' influence here. And it's coming over the Ten of Cups, Gemini. It's interesting how I said before, can we really have it all? The answer is yes. And really part of, I don't know, part of our soul's quest is to go on these adventures. And not all the adventures are going to work out, but it doesn't mean I didn't learn from them. And again, it's like, if I never walk through hell, how could I really appreciate what's coming towards me? What will feel like my heaven? Not just in love, but also your ability to create and to have true success. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. And there just feels like there's one thing that's coming between you and all that wants to open for you. You're the one who has to allow it. You're the one who has to tell someone, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Two swords. Interesting. Didn't want to come up with the rest of the deck. So, the lovers can certainly mean again the head of a heart decision. It's coming over the Ten of Cups. So we do have the Seven of Cups here. And I feel like simply ripping off that blindfold will make everything clear for you. It's interesting because when you're watching tarot, what you want to be careful of is that you're not only seeing like, oh, look at this beautiful love. I have to understand the lessons, right? I have to understand how I have grown. I have to put down the walls and let my intuition be the measure of if something is good or not so good. I got to not judge myself for having to walk through hell because it feels like you are reaching your heaven on earth. Wow. I'm going to leave it there. I just don't know how I can get any better. And I have to say, I feel so proud of you. And I feel like that's coming directly from your spiritual team. Like proud of the person you are today, no matter where you're at in the reading. Even if you're just starting at the two, look at the potential. And I had to say potential because you have free will. And at any time, this two swords could show its ugly head again. But I feel like now, especially with the Nine of Wands here, you know your own power, you know your own strength. I don't feel like you would give it away. I just don't. And I definitely feel like Temperance is saying, first of all, I feel like it's talking about like many of you becoming like business owners or, managers, like definitely your money, your creativity is being lifted tremendously. But it's the trust within yourself also. And then love. Yes, I've been through hell, and many of us have. And, that's why I'm saying just look back at your life. And, like I think about like people as like where I broke up and my heart got broke. But now I thank God. I thank God that that ended because now I'm really with, I just have to say, someone who just loves me for exactly who I am. And I am so far from perfect. But I never would have had that had certain things not opened and closed. All right, let's bring Mother Mary into this beautiful reading. Mother Mary for my beautiful Geminis and those intuitively guided. I know you're not all Geminis, or I can feel it. Um, I'd probably say 80% are Geminis and 20% I feel like you were guided. Even though you're a Gemini, I feel like a lot of you were guided. Like that's what my guides are making me feel right now. All right, Mother Mary. I feel like, yes, maybe we were waiting for the soulmates to come out, but we already saw them. And I feel like the lovers, it just feels like even a step up. And I definitely feel the angels' influence over these beautiful lovers. Home. Well, home is where the heart is. I trust and follow my divine guidance about my home. Some of you are literally jumping in that boat of the Six of Swords and you may be moving, but you may be moving to what just feels like the perfect place at the right time. Doesn't have to be everyone else. Oh, okay, we got quite a bit. Let's take what's face up, watched over. My favorite card. Because I really want you to feel that. I allow myself to feel safe and enjoy my life knowing that heaven is watching over my loved ones and me. I allow myself to feel safe. No more Eight of Swords. And enjoy my life knowing that heaven is watching over me and my loved ones. I don't know how many times I said heaven in this reading. Forgiveness. Not always easy. And it doesn't mean you got to pick up the phone and be like, hey, I forgive you for your shitty energy. You're just forgiving within your own heart. And I have to tell you, I know that's not easy to do. I've done that. And I've been with some pretty shitty people. But I don't give them the power over my life. I am willing to release old resentments so that I may enjoy my life. I mean, look at this. I allow myself to feel safe and enjoy my life. I'm willing to release old resentment so that I may enjoy my life. It's like a theme here. And then, well, hello, miracle. Hello, miracle. I trust in God to know the perfect solution to this situation. Miracles. Can they happen? It's like Mother Mary is watching over you. And yes, sometimes miracles can be big and sometimes they can be small, but they lead to, well, everything. Miracles. Wow. Gemini. What a reading. Okay, I'm going to leave that be. August readings have been very long, but I have to tell you, I feel it's very clear, at least to me. And I hope you'll let me know through your comments, and I've been really pushing comments lately because I feel like, especially those who may still be in this energy of like the waiting game, if you've been there, but you've overcome that, you're on the other side of that, and you're starting to see the miracles of like even our own potential. I feel like your comments can really help heal others, where they can start to find trust within themselves again. I feel like it's really up to you how many times you give someone an opportunity. But I feel like if I have to keep doing it over and over, I feel like that is your answer. And if I keep staying in their energy, what am I missing out on? I know change is not easy. but many times it is so worth it. Six of Swords does talk about temporarily. It can feel difficult, but only temporarily. Wow. And I kind of love how the Lovers came out last because I feel like this is really first and foremost about finding your power, right? Looking at your life, seeing how you have grown, being proud of who you are. I don't care what anybody else has told you. Especially if you're someone who, has really examined their shadow self and now you're living in the light. Doesn't promise you perfection. None of us are perfect, but it definitely feels like blessings and miracles. I feel like for your courageous acts, and again, sometimes that's simply just the moving on, the closing of certain doors. It's like these miracles happen. These miracles happen. All right, guys. I keep saying someone left me a comment said you're too chatty. That may be the case. I don't know. But I am who I am. I am who I am. Um, Anyways, I love you guys so much. I thank you. Um, I hope this reading resonates with you. I hope that if you feel stuck, that you can find your way out. That is my prayer for you. And don't forget, you are being watched over. You are receiving guidance. Just trust in that. Trust in that. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.